Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring, and today is Monday, May 20th, 2024. Hope you're doing well. Hey, I had a nice trade today, a nice short trade on GLD intraday on the 5-minute that I want to share with you and kind of give you an idea of what I was looking for and what the setup was, and we'll go through that in a minute. But I wanted to apologize. This weekend I did my weekend review podcast. It's about an hour and 10 minutes, and I had such technical problems. I recorded it the first time, and I thought, oh, this is a great podcast, and I recorded it, uploaded it, the whole deal. I realized I had my mute button on the entire time. So I wanted to cry, I wanted to laugh, but then I decided, and then I had some things to do, so I did it Sunday morning. I re-recorded it, did the whole podcast again, and then somehow something happened technically, and it only uploaded half of my podcast. And I had a few people say, hey, where were your trades for the next week? And I was like, yeah, they're on there. But apparently they were not. So I really do apologize. It's the first time I've had any technical issues in about 4 years. So for those of you that came to watch it and you only saw half of it, I really apologize. And hopefully next week we'll have the whole thing. We'll be back to normal. So let's talk about the short-term trade today that I took, the 5-minute trade that I took on GLD, which is gold. What first caught my attention on this trade up here was we had this high, and we had the strong, tall green MACD bars. Then we had a pullback, and then we went higher. But even though we were higher, do you see how we didn't have any green bars? This is called a double top with a bearish divergence. This is basically showing that the second move up here was running out of buyers. And the implication of that is if you're running out of buyers, you're probably going to go down. So I didn't take the trade just because of that. I waited for a fair value gap to take the trade, but that was the precursor that caught my attention of, oh, this might be a good short trade. Okay, so for fair value gaps, we need to have this. We need to have a high, a little bit of a pullback. Then we need to make a higher high. And then after that higher high, we have to take out a swing low. A swing low is just a low that has a high to the left of it and a high to the right of it. This particular bar here and these following bars here did take out this low. This turns us into from an uptrend to a downtrend. Okay, so we have a high, pullback, we make a higher high, and then these bars here that took out this first swing low put us back into a bearish construct, a bearish market structure. So when this happens, do you just get short? I don't. I wait for what is called a fair value gap. And the fair value gap consists of 3 bars. Here is bar 1, here is bar 2, here is bar 3. The low of bar 1 and the high of bar 3 creates this area that has not been tested. It just went straight down. So that's where I made this red band here. And then, and I say this a lot, so excuse me for the ad nauseum repetition, but when you change from an uptrend to a downtrend, very often, even though you've just changed to a downtrend, the market has a tendency to go back up before it goes down. And that's what I'm looking for in this fair value gap. A lot of times it will go back up and test this fair value gap. So this is exactly where I got short when the bar closed inside the red shortable area. I got short at 225.34. And then, of course, I have to have my stop losses. I have to have my profit targets. My emergency stop is 2 ATRs above. 2 ATRs above. If it gets there, I'm simply out of the trade. Okay. My end of bar stop would have been a close above this swing high here at 225.52. And to the downside, I always want to have a lot more profit potential than loss potential. So my profit target is 4 ATRs. It's twice this is the worst case scenario, right? 2 ATRs stop loss, emergency stop. My profit target, 4 ATRs to the downside. And then again, my end of bar stop simply if it closed over this swing high. Well, I got it just right. And I got short at 225.34. never even challenged, or even got close to either of these stops. And it just came down, came down, came down, came down. Then we had this rally, and I kind of towards the end of the day, and I thought, I don't know if it's going to get to my profit target or not. And if it hadn't, I mean, it did right here. But if it hadn't, when the market was getting ready to close, I would just close out my position regardless. But it was a nice trade for 73 cents to the downside. Just nailed the absolute top. But again, the setup was we have a high, followed high, pullback, higher high. These bars here take out this first swing low. That puts us into a downtrend. So I'm looking to short any rally. I shorted the rally into the bearish fair value gap here, and it worked as advertised. So nice little trade there that I wanted to share with you. I also want to show you a trade that I had today. I don't always have winning trades, that is for sure. And just, you know, for those of you are new to trading and those who are not new to trading, you'll appreciate this. Well, this was the same kind. This is on the Qs on the 5-minute. Same thing. We have a high, pullback, higher high. We break structure. I didn't highlight the fair value gap. I decided to go at halfway of this big down bar here, the short. I got short at 454.78. I placed my 2 ATR stop above my 4 ATR profit target to the bottom. Started off really good, and then look, just went against me, hit my stop. I had to get out, and then look what happened. All the way down to my profit target. Sound familiar? So it would have been a nice profitable trade if I would have just held on a little bit longer, but I've been trading for a long time and I don't do that. When I hit my stops, I just get out, and you know, very often this happens. So if you've been trading for a while, you can kind of probably appreciate that I got out right at the very top before it headed down. So in principle, I was right, but still lost money on that trade. But I do want to share with you that, you know, I don't always show you just winning trades, and this was a frustrating trade where I got right at the top. So back to gold real quick, and we'll just finish up on that one, or review that just one more time just to make sure you understand it. But this was a really, really nice trade, and that's the key. Wait for if you want to get long, wait for the structure change to turn to bullish, and then buy that first dip into the fair value gap, in the bullish fair value gap, or in this case, when you go from, we have a high, pullback, higher high, then you break structure here. I like to short that first rally, and this one worked out nicely and actually did get right to my 4 ATR. So I hope that was helpful, everyone. If you'd like to learn more about my trading, I do have a podcast on Saturdays. Most of the time they're there and they're just fine, except for last week. But it's the Gossett Trading and Mentoring Weekend Review, where I go over all of the trades that I made from the previous week, both on daily time frame, weekly time frame. We talk about when I got in the trade, why I got in the trade, what was the signal, what was I thinking, what was the strategy, and then most importantly, how I'm going to manage the trade going forward. But I think you'll like it. I think you'll learn a lot. And if you found anything valuable in this podcast today, I'd really appreciate if you could hit the thumbs up button. I really would appreciate that. But thanks for watching, and have a good rest of your day. Thanks. Bye-bye.
U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation, and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.